Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. We are about to do a timing belt water pump job on this 2010 S40 R type P1 platform. First thing we're going to do is break the lug nuts loose, jack the car up, put a jack stand under there, and pick up from there. Next thing we're going to do is take this skid plate off. Look like we got some T30s going around there. 3 across the front, another one there, maybe a couple across the back. I'll let you know how many. Next thing we're going to do is drop the coolant in that pan. And you have a hole there and the petcock there. You turn that with your hand or with a stubby flat tip. You got the coolant draining. Go ahead and open up the reservoir cap to let it flow. While that's draining, we're going to go ahead and take off the timing belt cover. Move the oil cap thing there. We got T30s across there and here, and that'll let this timing cover off the top here. I'm gonna lift this bottle up and out of the way and see if there's something holding this front cover on over here. It may just be clipped. Let me see. Pull that top cover off, then this cover just kind of works up and out. It has little guides in it, but it doesn't have any hardware securing it. Now we're going to set the top cover back up here and align the timing to get the timing on the marks. Now we're going to take a T25 out there, T25 out here, take a couple of these loose maybe, and take that 10 off there. It's just easier to take the whole skirt out, a 10 there, 10 there, the rest of them are T25s. Pull it out. Had a bunch of dirt, leaves and stuff up there. So now we can make sure we're neutral and put a crank nut on there and align the timing. These marks are very faint, but there's one right there and there's one right there. So I'm gonna set the cover there and make sure those are on. And if you got a cam locking tool that locks these cams up front, you can use that. Other than that, we'll just keep moving. Wiped it off with my finger. You can see it a little better. The back of that screw almost lines up with it. So I'm gonna set the cover there, double check that, and like I said, keep moving. This thing has a different serpentine belt arrangements than some cars, but it's got a belt that turns the AC compressor. Then it's got a belt from the AC compressor to the alternator. So the crank is turning the AC compressor, and the AC compressor turning the alternator. That kind of sucks. You can never bypass the AC. Anyway, I'm going to lift the tension off of this and slide this belt off of the AC compressor. You got a T50 in there. You turn it clockwise, it takes the tension off, knock the belt off. Now that your belt's off, and you can do this with that belt on, decide if you're going to knock this harmonic balancer off. If you'll knock that off, do it while that belt's on. It helps put a little stress on it, come off easier. If not, this is where you take that thing off under the belt and give you access to the timing belt installed that way. But really, you might try to take this off, give you some more space to work. Got the pulley off. Next, I'm gonna get the timing belt cover off, the lower timing belt cover. Next, we're gonna support the engine and take a little bit of pressure off the engine. That's how I have the engine supported under the oil pan. Scissor jack, I got it up about a 1/2 inch. Take this bracket off the engine. I think that's a 15 or 16 there. Take that there. That'll take this hold down off. Then I got 15 there, 15 there. 15s or 14s. I'm pretty sure they're 15. Got that crossover support loose. You want to look at your mount, make sure you don't see no cracks in it. Starting to crack just a little bit. probably be replaced couple years, another 25,000 miles. Pull these bolts out and lift this mount up and out. Jack the engine up a little bit and pull that, look like a T30 out of there to get that lower cover off. After you get that screw out there, T30, the side has little latches on it. Pop those loose. Probably same thing on the back side. Wiggle this thing up and out. 2 latches on the back, 2 latches on the front, comes up through the top. And that's the engine tag, engine serial number 4452366, and the engine part number B52514T. Next thing I'm gonna do is go down there and put that 10 millimeter on that tensioner, break that tensioner loose, and take slack out the belt, pull the belt off. Then I'll remove the tensioner roller and the idler roller. And then we're gonna take the water pump off as well, because we're replacing that too. I got the tensioner out. I had to put a little cheater on the 10 millimeter. Then we had to lower the engine to sneak it out the bottom. So now we can verify the timing on the crank, which is dead on. See this hump right here? That hump corresponds with the notch and the groove in there, and then your oil pump right there. So we are dead on. See the 2 notches on the crank sprocket. So from here you can see that that notch here lines up with the oil pump. Now we should have enough slack in the belt to get the belt off.
Flip them up here?
Yep. And twist it and lower it out of there. So here's the belt. Starting to get micro cracks in there. It's probably good for a little while longer, but we're at 10 years, you know. So I'm not sure what the owner's manual say, but I wouldn't let a timing belt go longer than 10 years. Not on my car anyway. Not sure you can get this idler out without pulling this bracket here. So we're going to roll the engine back up on that scissor jack so we can have easy access to this idler pulley, and then have clear access to hit the water pump bolts. Yeah. Water pump came out the bottom. Just about the whole entire gasket came out. I got a new gasket thanks to Corley's Volvo 30677767. Brand new. Got the water pump off. Got the surface all cleaned up with this brass wire brush. That's right there. And we're going to set the new gasket in place, set the water pump in place, and start torquing those bolts down. 15 foot-pounds. All right, you had to crank the engine up, put a few bolts in, lower the engine, put a few bolts in, crank it back up, torque them, lower them, torque them. So now we're going to put on this idler, and then put the timing belt tensioner in place and try to get this timing belt down through there. Roll the crank around, it's on the mark. Then that tensioner, almost impossible to see, but I think it's set for like 70 degrees or something. Yeah, it's set for like 60 degrees. That's as close as I can get it. I got that tight. I'm gonna check the 2 cam marks and that'll be ready to go back together. When you put the alternator belt on, put it around the AC pulley first, then pull it around your pulley, then untension your pulley and slip it over the alternator and roll it while you're putting it on. I was trying to put it around this roller last, and I had tension on the tensioner, and the tensioner actually broke. You can see that right there. Got the timing belt on, but I wanted to replace this alternator belt. So I had the belt around the AC compressor. I went up around the alternator, then I tried to get it around the tensioner roller, and I had tension on there and it broke the tensioner. So then I took the cap off of the roller in that T50 in there, I carefully took the belt off the alternator, put it around the AC compressor around the roller, and then I carefully took the tension off using that roller screw, and I was able to get it around the alternator that way. So I pried that cap off with a flat tip screwdriver, and I'm about to put that cap back on. So be aware you can break these tensioners. All right, now you can start the car, fill it up with coolant, make sure everything works. I put that inner cover on. So now I'm gonna put the harmonic balancer on and just keep going forward. I believe I got all my water bolts torqued right. Got the harmonic balancer back on, alternator tail on. We'll put all the coolant that we had in there, and everything's clear of the belt. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up and see how she sounds. Let her move my glasses. Let it run for 1 minute and then cut it off. Nothing appears to be leaking. Got the mount in, the mount bridge over. Now to put this front cover on, then get that top cover locked in place. I put the big skirt in. I hooked it around the fender first. Then I puckered it up there, put it over those anchors, put those 2 tins in, and then I come around here with the T25s. Then I put this bottom piece on here. It looks like it's on right. Some kind of way like that. Now it's time to get that belly pan on, put the tire on, because we kind of worked this in behind that mount, got it hooked behind right there where it goes. Then we put the top cover on under that, clipped it under there, put the oil cap back on, put the T30s in there, and we're good to go. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.